ladies and gentlemen, the president of the FA, a proud member of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, Mr. Edwin Ket Okraku.
Mr. President, my mentor, President Kwabena Yeboah, my colleagues in the media here in Guarded, members of the ever hard-working executive of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, staff and executives of our dear Football Association. I'm sure I've not left anybody out. It really thrills me to stand before this august body and family, not only to launch this program that has come to stay with us, but most importantly, to ensure that we keep this family as a unit. I would say that on behalf of the executive committee, I say hello to everybody. And I welcome all of you to experience the FA's new way of working in transparency and ensuring that there is constant information flow, not only to all our stakeholders, but our proud members of the media. The Sports Writers Association needs no introduction. It is a body, it is a family that has protected and guided all of us in the football industry since we were born. It is a body that has ensured that people or executives who work in the sports industry respect all the good corporate governance principles of transparency and accountability. It is a body that has ensured that we have at all times delivered on our mandates. But most importantly, it is a body that our dear Football Association holds in high esteem. Because as somebody will say, Mr. President, doing business without advertising is like what? Living in the dark. Obviously, you will know what you're doing, but the other colleague next door will never know what you're doing. That tells you the all-important importance of the media. And as somebody who has been, of course, I am still a member of SWAG, I very much appreciate the importance of the media, for which reason, since October 2019, we have worked so closely with the media at all times. Now, let me start from where our president ended. He spoke about the fact that the FA should continue to involve media personnel in the coverage of national team activities. Indeed, I think the evidence is there. Since we took over, we've not departed from that. We have not departed from that. But the truth of the matter is that we have about maybe 1 million media men in Ghana, maybe 1 million. And it's extremely difficult for us to work with everybody on constant and consistent basis, so to say. So for example, if there's a trip to Lomé or Togo, we cannot take 1 million people. Obviously, maybe one. But what I can say is that our FA would continue and will never depart from working with our media men, because you are very important. Indeed, because we so much cherish the impact or the role of the media, when all of us went through what we call the pandemic of COVID-19, and when the FIFA decided to support member associations with the FIFA COVID-19 Relief Fund, our FA did not leave the media out. I'm sure you're all privy to the discussions that went on our media platforms. There were negatives. In fact, there were a lot more negatives. People didn't understand why we must consider the media in the distribution of the relief fund. I'm very happy that your football association stood firm because we appreciate what the media does to the development of football. And it's the singular reason why today we are here and we are engaged in what we have termed as the GFA SWAG Media Capacity Building Exercise. I am proud about this. Today will definitely not be the last. We will have many more opportunities to engage and to improve on our capacity as we journey along in this journey to improve Ghana football. So from the FIFA COVID-19 Relief Fund, we allotted $7,000 to ensure that we have 2 seminars. One is what we are experiencing today. The other one will take place in the northern part of Ghana soon. So the seminars are in 2 phases, the northern sector and the southern sector. Both would happen very, very soon. The relationship between the sports and media is a strong one. Indeed, over time, the media and sports have been relying on each other, and the effect of media upon sports, especially on football, has grown and grown over time. There is a symbiotic relationship that the two enjoy. Sports need the media to develop, whilst the media needs sports for content for commercial successes. Although the relationship between the two exists, the media has demonstrated that it wields a powerful tool which has the potential, Mr. President, to cause good and also to cause harm to our dear industry. But I'm more interested in the positive side of reportage, because news is not always negative. Good news is also good news, and it's also part of journalism. It is my fervent wish that our local media will pause to consider the weight and importance of positive reportage for Ghanaian football, for our dear game, the players and all other stakeholders. By all means, the GFA advocates for fair account of incidents to be published as and when they arise. However, what we are also advocating for is that majority of the sports media must make a concerted effort not to churn out negative press, engage in willful reputational damage, or to glean news to create content from unfounded facts and rumors that damage the industry and, of course, our livelihoods. Today, your Ghana Football Association launches this initiative to spur on local media to assess their role in developing Ghanaian football by making it attractive and marketable. Sports, and in particular football, is not just about participation and the show of talent. It's also part of the commercial world, which is managed and marketed for commercial purposes. The industry relies heavily on sponsorship. In fact, the two are linked together. There is a commercial dance of brands where reputation is monetized for the benefit of our dear Football Association. Therefore, we must be responsible in our delivery of media content, as sponsorship and the media are significant influences in our industry. My colleagues in the media, ladies, our Football Association has developed these 2 seminars to be as interactive and practical as possible. This is to enable both sides of the coin, that is the Football Association and the media, to understand each other's challenges, our roles, and our areas of significance. Mr. President, because we very much recognize the important role of the media, our Football Association has placed a lot of premium on communications. And if we have to be honest, I am not too sure whether we've had a communications department as vibrant and as hardworking as we currently have. I've had complaints from certain media houses that we are virtually collapsing their businesses because all the Class A content are easily accessible via our media platforms, whether via our website, which has been ever active, or via our social media platforms, which has been very much amazing. And in saying this, I'll say kudos to the communications department led by Mr. Henry Asante. They have been up to speed with information flow, not only on the mainline FA activities, but also previews on the Premier League, the Women's Premier League, and the Division 1 League. Most importantly, and most especially, the communications department introduced what we call the GFA News, which is live on Facebook every Friday evening. And I'm sure some of you have access or been following that particular product. Indeed, we've also experiencing unprecedented coverage of our football products. The GPL, minimum 3-4 games per weekend. The DOL, minimum 3 live games per weekend. The WPL, minimum 2 live games per each weekend. This has been unprecedented, and I think they deserve a clap. Most often, people run out of options. Do I watch the WPL? Do I watch the DOL? Or do I watch the GPL? And this has been made possible because our men and women in the comms department have been so proactive, and most importantly, they recognize and appreciate the role of the media in the development of our football. Indeed, your Football Association also ensured that their work is made easier. And how do we do that? We ensured that the FA invested in the right cameras, the right gadgets, and the result is what we see on our screens and on our social media platforms every day of the week. Indeed, we also took the responsibility to enhance the quality of staff in the communications department, and that has resulted in all the good works that you see. Very soon, to add to the tall list of the achievements within this short period, the FA will be launching our own application, that is the GFA app, very soon. This is also a top-up for everybody. You would also agree with me that our secretariat has been up to speed with the delivery of their responsibilities. The team led by lawyer Prosper Harrison Addo have been ensuring that our key stakeholders, our club members, receive up-to-speed information on a daily basis. And this has ensured the smooth running of football in this country since October the 19th. In a moment, I'll be showing you a short video. And I hope each one of you will pay attention to that short video. I think it's 3 minutes, 49 seconds. So let's get ready for that short video. Some few weeks ago, our U20 won the U20 AFCON. We achieved that not only because we're smart administrators, not only because we had the best of team, but also because the media, you supported your own football association to be victorious. We thank you. Yes, there were people who criticized our work. For me, it's very normal, and I accept the criticisms in good faith. But what that criticism did for us was a trophy that we eventually brought to Ghana. It made us to identify our weaknesses. It made us to strengthen the team. and it made us to communicate even more effectively than we ever did. We are grateful. Yedamasi. And because of that, I brought the trophy here again for all of you to see, but most importantly, to dedicate that victory to our media men beyond here and throughout the country. So the victory of our U20 is dedicated towards our hardworking media persons across the country. If Mr. Sante is ready, I am sure that I'm also ready for us to pick up that video. I would appeal to each one of us to pay attention to the content of the video. And that's a clear message for my good self to this important family. Henry, are we ready? Okay, let's go.
Good news is no news. That's the message most journalists want to give us, and that's a dramatic mistake. I'm Charles Groenhuizen. I'm 65. I've been a journalist for over 40 years. We have to realize that journalism is like a mirror. Our viewers, our readers look in this mirror and they're supposed to see the world as it is. And they don't. They see a mirror which is fogged up. It's always the negative side of life. And I try to correct that mistake a teeny tiny little bit. What I try to do as a journalist now is give more a long-term perspective. What I see on TV all the time is a lot of noise, breaking news. I like to focus on silent revolutions, but they are extremely important, but long-term. I'm an optimist because I look at facts. Think about the decline in extreme poverty. It's unbelievable what we accomplished in the last 25, 30 years. More than 100,000 people every day who come out of extreme poverty. Think about child mortality. Think about average life expectancy. Think about average health in the world that has, improved tremendously. And people don't know it. Sometimes I compare journalism with raising children. We raise children in a way that brings out the positive sides in them, things they do well. Imagine us as parents always saying to children what they're doing wrong. If that's the only message we have for our children, they're going to end up as miserable people and negative people and probably angry people. But this is exactly the way we treat as journalists the world. Because we say to the world, this is horrible. Oh, and tomorrow will be even worse. With refugees and immigrants, with crime, with everything. And the consequence of this negative attitude is that people look at the world in a very negative way. Very often it plays into the fear of people. It makes them scared and angry. So it's not just saying journalism is so negative, it has huge consequences for society and for political choices. The basic difference I have with a lot of my colleagues, they tend to amplify the bad stuff in the world. I would go for the opposite, amplify the good without forgetting the bad. There's some huge issues, of course, and challenges. Think about the climate crisis, immigration, inequality. But at the same time, the progress in so many fields is unprecedented. When it comes to education, when it comes to our basic human rights, sexual orientation for women, for children, and people don't realize it. If you steer it away from the negative focus and steer towards a more positive, more constructive way of looking at things, I think journalism could make a better world. The problem is journalists don't consider it to be their basic task to make the world better. And maybe there is the basic difference of opinion I have with a lot of my colleagues. Yes, we are here to make a better world. People should realize that being pessimistic about the world is a choice, but optimism is a choice as well. It gives more energy. And eventually, with that kind of energy, we can make a better world for ourselves, for our children, our grandchildren.
I think we deserve a bigger clap. So the message to us is very clear. Journalism is not only about reporting on negatives. if we have to be honest to ourselves, for what we have achieved since October 29, our industry should be buzzing with a lot of positives. Our industry, our media land space should be buzzing with a lot of positives because there's a lot of positive news. And journalism is not only about negative reportage. Mr. President, I am very sure that the message is very simple. The message, I know, is piercing through the hearts of many, but it is very clear that when we all went through training at our various institutions, we're not only taught about negative reportage, we're taught also how to report the good sides of our stories. The good stories that brings positive energy, that accelerates development, that improves not only your lives, the lives of our families, but our collective lives. Positive reportage is also part of journalism. Let's keep up reporting positively about our football industry, about our dear Football Association. Thank you.
Mr. President, you dedicated the U20 trophy to the Ghanaian media. And on behalf of the Ghanaian media, I would want you to make a formal symbolic presentation to the President of SWAG here. Let's clap. So the President of SWAG is receiving same colors though, but so the two presidents, a presentation from GFA to SWAG. So Ni Ajay Sowa, the mayor of Accra, he gave us this venue for free. Thank you very much, Mayor. He did some